name's Miss Cathy from the Tomball Library, and this is another edition of Backyard Crafts. Today we're going to make these super cute CD snails. Aren't they awesome? I did a different technique on each one, and I'll explain that in a minute, but let me tell you the supplies you're going to need. So you can really pull out any craft supplies you have around the house. I'll tell you what I used and what I had available. So I used some buttons, paint, any kind of ribbon, yarn, thread even would work. I have some cross-stitch thread here. You're going to want to get a pencil. If you're going to paint, you're going to want paint brushes. Scissors, definitely. You're going to want some construction paper, either colored, or if you don't have that, you can use white construction paper or white paper to make the snail's body. You can use crayons to color the snail, markers. You're going to need tape and glue. And if you're going to paint, you'll definitely want a paint tray or a paper plate. And last but not least, you're going to want a CD, because this is going to be the snail's shell. So I'm talking about a music CD. So ask your parents, or maybe you even have one that you don't want anymore. And that's what we're going to use for his shell. Okay, so stay tuned, and I'm going to show you next, step by step, how to make this really cool snail. Okay, so first I'm going to show you very quickly how I made these two snails. So on the top one, I used construction paper and a marker, and I used what is a treat bag. So I took a treat bag that you might get Valentine's treats in, or like a birthday party treat bag. And I used scissors, and I just cut down the side of it until it was opened, like this. And then I took my CD and I laid it on top, and I just traced and cut out the circle. And then I glued it on top of the CD. So it looks like this snail has a heart shell. For the bottom one, I used tissue paper. So I have, you might have a lot of tissue paper from Christmas or other birthday parties or gift bags. And I did the same thing. I just laid the CD right on top of it. I traced it with a pencil and cut it out. And then I laid it on top and I glued it right onto the CD. So for this one, I used this ribbon. And all I did was I threaded it through the middle of his shell. I taped it to the back like this. See? So it's very easy. You can just snip it, cut it, and tape it. And then you could add as many ribbons as you want. And you can use yarn, you could use any kind of curling ribbon would work. Okay? So next, I'm going to show you how I made this snail. And we're going to start with the body. All right, so next we're going to make his body. Okay, so the main thing to think about is you want to think about your CD and how big it is, and you want to make sure that the snail's body is going to stick out, pretty far on either side. Okay, so you can draw it by freehanding it with a pencil. I actually made a pattern, a snail pattern. I just used an old folder because I was making several, and so you can either freehand this or you can make a pattern if you're going to make several snails. And all I needed to do was trace it like this. So he's about this big, okay? You want to have some of the snail sticking out this way and some of it sticking out this way. You want the body to be kind of big because you're going to need to tape the CD onto the snail body at the end. So you want it to be a fairly big snail's body. So then you're going to take your scissors and you're just going to start cutting. You're going to cut out the snail body. Next, I'm going to show you how to decorate the shell. Okay, so as you can see, I've cut out the snail's body and I've colored it with green crayon and outlined it with green marker. So our snail body is ready to go. So I'm going to set it to the side. And now we're going to paint this CD in a design. So the one I'm showing you is this blue and yellow snail shell, and I've added blue and yellow paint to my paint tray, and it's really as simple as just getting paint on your paintbrush and painting the snail shell. Any design you want. So I had chosen to kind of make mine blue on the outside and yellow on the inside. So you're just going to keep painting and designing your shell colors however you would like. Okay, if you choose to paint it, you don't have to paint the whole thing. You can paint part of it and leave part of it like rainbow shiny like the CD is originally. Okay, so I'm going to keep painting, and then after the paint is dry, I'm going to show you how to add all kinds of fun decorations. All right? Okay, so now the shell is painted and it's dry. So you gotta wait till it's dry for the next step, okay? So now's the part where you get to add any kind of doodads you want. You can put some glue on there and you can add beads, buttons, glitter, sequins, yarn, anything you have at your house that you'd like to use to decorate your shell. Today I'm gonna use buttons and I'm gonna use some cross-stitch thread to kind of make a little swirl on his shell. Okay, because that's what I have at my house. So I'm going to take some glue. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit in the middle, right around this clear part that I left unpainted. And I'm going to add my buttons in there. So I'm going to start with the biggest button. I'm going to kind of cover it up in the middle. And then I'm going to just add all the rest of these buttons around the outside, like this. Almost there. So then the next part, you might need to add a little more glue to make sure these are going to stick. Ta-da! Perfect. Okay, so now my buttons are all in place. Next, I'm going to use this thread to kind of make a little swirl. So I'm going to take my glue and I'm just going to sort of draw a little line that kind of goes around like that. Then I'm going to take my yarn or my cross stitch thread and I'm going to lay it down right on my little glue line, just like this. Okay, and you just keep going around and going around until you either run out of your thread or yarn or you want to change colors. So I think I want to change colors, so I'm going to snip this blue and get it on there like that. And then I'm going to switch to my yellow. There we go. So like I said, you can use any supplies that you have at your house to decorate your snail shell. It could get really silly, couldn't it? All right, so you just keep going around until it's all the way filled in. Next, I'm going to show you how to attach the shell to the body. Okay, so this is the final step. We have our snail's body, which is colored, and I have my shell, which is all dried. So I left it alone and I've let the buttons dry and all the glue on the thread dry. So as you can see, nothing's falling off. Okay, so now you can attach the shell to the snail. I'm gonna draw the little snail's face first. So let's give him a little smile and let's draw a little eye like that with my marker. And then we're ready for the snail to get his shell. So you're going to lay it on top like this, kind of position it where you want, then turn it over, and we're going to tape it. Okay, I'm just using Scotch tape. It holds pretty good. If you have thicker packaging tape, that would definitely work as well. So now I've got it taped on there, and there he is. Isn't he so cute? Okay guys, so that's it for this edition of Backyard Crafts. I hope it's inspired you to make a CD snail. If you do, please post the pictures in the comments below. I had a lot of fun showing you guys this craft. I hope you join me again for another edition of Backyard Crafts. Bye!